The thing about Bitcoin right now, the reason this is the best moment in history to buy Bitcoin on a risk-adjusted basis is there's just too much structural demand for the amount of supply in the network. Bitcoin only produces 165,000 Bitcoin per year. Last year, ETFs bought 500,000 Bitcoin. I think they may buy more than that this year. Add on corporate buying and government buying. There is just too much demand. I don't think anything stops the train. We feel more confident about that $200,000 prediction today than we made it in December of 2024.
That being said, Bitcoin is now a bit range bound. We've seen between 100 and 105,000. What's going on?
Yeah, so there are select number of sellers who have been willing to sell around the $100,000 point. Why? Because people are human. Some of that selling has come from FTX. Some of it has come from Mt. Gox distributions, but we think that is running out of supply. Once we break loose of the $100,000 sort of range bound, I think it's blue skies ahead. I think we go to the next behavioral stop. It's helpful, but the real story is ETH properly, right? ETH went down, 60% from its all-time highs. If you staked and earned a few percent, you were still sad. So I think most people are betting first and foremost on ETH. The staking will be nice. It will be a reason to buy the ETF and not do it directly, but it's not a game changer. The game changer for ETH is the change in the Ethereum foundation. The game changer is the success of the Pectra upgrade. The game changer is maybe stablecoin and market structure regulation. I would look to those things more than I would the addition of staking if you want to see ETH ETFs go to tens of billions of dollars.
Right. And do you think people are starting to knit together the use cases of DeFi and what ETH is trying to do? Maybe the stablecoin legislation is a pivot point there, or are people starting to get that? Because the Bitcoin story is pretty locked in. The growth story still...
And the hype exceeds the fundamentals. It may be the case that the fundamentals are exceeding the hype on ETH. That can be interesting for people with, let's say, a 2-year time frame.
Right.
What are some of the macroeconomic factors that you're looking at that will impact the crypto markets? We see with the tariffs that had a lot of global uncertainty around trade, and that spooked markets earlier in April, but now they seem to be rebounding, as well as what the Fed might do and what U.S. Commerce Secretary Scott Bessent might be doing with the Treasury buybacks. What are you looking at?
Yeah, the best thing that can happen from a macro perspective is us not talking about it and not worrying about it. I mean, the crypto-specific drivers are so positive right now. I think we would be much higher today if we hadn't gone through this crazy V-shaped macro thing. It distracted all of us from the fundamentals being so strong in crypto. So I'm hoping we've entered this more tantrum.
Yeah.
This was the first macro shock where traditional investors could access Bitcoin. If you go back to previous macro shocks like the taper tantrum or the last China trade war in 2018, traditional shops couldn't use Bitcoin as a tool. There weren't ETFs, there weren't regulated futures. People wonder, why did Bitcoin decouple from stocks this time when it hadn't in the past? Because all of a sudden traditional investors could use it for what it's built for, which is a hedging tool. So I think that's an indication of where we'll be in the future. I think the correlations are going to go down over time and not up. But again, the story on Bitcoin is a demand story of institutions moving hundreds of billions of dollars into this asset, and macro is sort of...
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support.